Who are you going to trust to fix health care? It's the Republican Party, because we have volumes of ideas on how to do this, on how to fix it, on how to drive costs down, and how to increase access to care and quality of care, and you're going to see all that vigorous debate. So
that's Mike Johnson saying that when it comes to health care, Republicans have volumes of ideas. They have volumes of ideas on how they're going to fix it. Name me one bill they've ever brought to the table to fix health care. Name me one idea that they have other than Trump saying he's got concepts of a plan. Name me one other idea they don't. And the truth of the matter is, folks, they never have. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that what the Republican ideas are is to tear down anything that a Democrat puts in place. That's it. They don't have any new, fresh ideas. The only new, fresh ideas that they've caught on to in the last 10 years is they figured out how to fight the culture wars. They figured out how to get people to vote against their own interest. They had to give the people something to fight for. See, people in my part of the world, they've always been voting against their own interest. Ever since I was a little boy, I would see people voting against their own interest. I remember as a kid, my dad working 2 jobs, my mom working odd jobs. We were still standing in those government cheese lines. Ronald Reagan was the president. It was Reaganomics. And even as a kid, I would hear my uncles talking about people voting against their own interest. But the reason why that Reagan and the Bushes were never really able to get the real stranglehold on people that Donald Trump did is because Reagan never gave us standing there in that cheese line something to fight for. You know what I mean? We were just standing there in it, and he's up there talking about America being great. And by the way, he's one that was Make America Great Again. Nothing Donald Trump ever did was original. But Reagan didn't give us anything to fight for. He didn't give us anything to go to bat for and make us feel better about the fact that our parents were working their asses off and we were still eating government cheese. So what Donald Trump figured out how to do and what MAGA figured out how to do so masterfully is get everyone out there to fighting a culture war. Because if you can make them feel like they're winning something, then they'll look past the fact that you've never had a health care plan. You've never had a plan to fix anything. Right now, being a Republican politician or being a Republican influencer or a Republican on a network like Fox News, that has to be the easiest gig out there because you never have to bring any facts. You never have to bring any evidence. You never have to bring any receipts. You can sit there and just lie your ass off to the American people. And folks, if you go over, and I wouldn't advise this, I care too much about y'all as my listeners to tell you to do this to yourself. But if you consume Fox News for more than 2 minutes, you will literally feel your brain cells dying because it is that far-fetched and that over the top. There are people, though, that will sit there and hear Mike Johnson say that and go, oh, yeah, boy, man, Republicans are fighting for us. Why do they say that? Because the Republicans gave them something stupid to fight over, and they think they're in the fight together. But to the people in my part of the world, I would say this: Mike Johnson don't care about you. The Republican Party don't care about you, and they don't have any ideas on how to make your life better. If you went out there and just go to their voting records on how they voted, you would see they voted against you every stinking time. Every time you needed them to go to bat for you and your family, they went the opposite way. And they always have. This ain't nothing new. It's been going on as long as the Republican Party has been around. We had FDR who came along and he said, you know what, we're going to put this country back together. And that was back when presidents actually could have more than 2 terms. And FDR is one of the reasons why that we no longer have that, because FDR had to die in office. He was so popular with the American people, and he was so popular in the South. He was so popular in my part of the world. People back then, there's the old saying, the Southern Democrats. The South used to be Democratic until they managed to switch the parties and all the Dixiecrats left, all the racist assholes left, and embraced Republicans. And since then, they've not had any ideas other than to stand in the way of progress. Go back to any issue at any time and see who was pushing forward the progress, and you will see a progressive, liberal, Democratic candidate. And anyone standing in the doorway blocking it has always been a Republican candidate. Every stinking time. And it's so frustrating watching people hear him sit there and say that. We've got volumes of ideas. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene had to say, I had him on the phone. I told him, tell me what the ideas are. He couldn't give them to me over the phone. You know why? Because he don't have any. And one day I was saying, I can't remember which platform it was on, I just left a comment saying that they have no, or I think I left a reel saying, they have no ideas. And someone chimed in to go, oh, Brando, you're crazy. We got all kinds of ideas. Donald Trump ain't never stopped working for us. And I'm like, he is going to bat for himself. He's going to bat building ballrooms. How's that helping you? He's going to bat getting a new marble bathroom. How's that helping you? He's going to bat taking bribes and taking jets from foreign countries that he once criticized for funding terrorism. Now he takes their plane and says he'd be stupid not to. And he gets jets for Kristi Noem to fly around in. And he wants the Washington Commanders to name their new stadium after him. And then he's got all this Epstein stuff just raining down on his head. And there's still people sitting there because all he has to do while that stuff rains down on his head is go, but Bill Clinton, but Bill Clinton. And everybody go, ooh, that's our new culture war. Let's grab onto that. Let's fight against Bill Clinton. And the last economic boom that my part of the world seen was thanks to Bill Clinton. I know Bill Clinton's not popular, really, on either side of the aisle. I understand there's people on my side of the aisle that says, Brando, don't give Bill Clinton credit. He created 22 million jobs. He balanced the budget. He left us with a surplus. He was a hell of a president. And it's the last time that people in my part of the world saw the economy truly, truly boom. It's the last time that people around us really did feel it in their wallet and went, holy shit, things are pretty good. But then along come the rise of Fox News. The whole Iraq war happened. They really pounced on that. If you didn't agree with the war, you weren't a patriot. If you didn't agree with the war, you hated the soldiers. You hated the country. They started off that way. And that stuff just morphed its way and rolled right into the MAGA crap that we have today. And they just go to bat for those culture wars. And then the working poor that have struggled so hard and for so many years have tried to better themselves and get up, and they can't. They can't rise above it. They just keep chasing that carrot, or chasing that Bud Light can, or chasing that Carhartt jacket, or Starbucks, or Target, or whatever other culture war they tell them to fight. And what about Bill Clinton? Okay, what about Bill Clinton? I just named off all the great things he did. He's my favorite president. That being said, if Bill Clinton harmed somebody, if Bill Clinton broke the law and done something wrong and truly hurt innocent children, women and children, I want to see him punished. And that's the difference between the two sides. When they go, what about Bill Clinton? It means nothing to me. Because I don't know anybody on my side that says, save Bill Clinton. We've never said that. You know, I saw one headline that said Jeffrey Epstein said that Bill Clinton never went to the island. I saw that headline. Now, we know Bill Clinton was on the plane. We do. And I can so see Republicans going, see there? Hold on, man, they're lying. He's lying. He's just saying all the bad stuff about Trump, but he ain't saying nothing bad about Bill Clinton. See there, he was defending Bill Clinton. That means I'm right. No, it doesn't necessarily mean you're right. But let me just go ahead and say that if he is lying on Bill Clinton, then I want it to come out. I want the truth to come out because I'm not trying to fight a culture war. I'm trying to fight for the people and lift them up and get them to stop fighting alongside people that wouldn't wipe their nose on their Sunday best. These people don't care about you, and no matter how many times Mike Johnson tells you they got a health care plan, you got health care because Barack Obama and the Affordable Care Act. If your mama or papa got it, I've seen so many people get it because of that. They got it because of him, not because of anything that the Republican did, because they've been trying to tear it down. When Obama brought the Affordable Care Act to the table, Republicans didn't have an alternative then. And if you go back before that, go all the way back to FDR, they never had an idea. They never had a plan. It's so crazy to me that guy can stand there with the straightest of faces and say that shit, and people will buy it and people will fall for it. Why? Because he gave them something to fight for. And it's stuff that's never going to add any quality to their life. And when they do speak out and they do say things are bad, Trump will say, well, that's fake polls. And I say, how fake is your grocery bill? That's the $1 million question. But folks, I do want to thank you so much for supporting what it is that I do here on the channel. We continue to grow here every day, and I appreciate y'all so much for sharing my stuff and getting it out there. We'll keep calling it out. We'll keep standing up. And we'll keep pointing out that we are up against one of the worst groups of people in human history that have no ideas other than how to pardon criminals, protect pedophiles, and keep people fighting ridiculous culture wars that have nothing to do with their lives. We'll keep calling it out because it's too important not to. We'll keep going to bat because we have to swing and we have to knock this one out of the park, and we have to get the working class back and understand we really had their best interest the entire time. We were over here with the better ideas, and really at the end of the day, we were over here with the only ideas, because go back and find me one Republican bill about health care where they had new, fresh set of ideas. They don't. The only thing they've ever wanted to do is tear down something that someone else built.